School of Policy, Planning and Development, Commencement. I am Carol Rush, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Please rise and welcome the class of 2009. Our Master Student Commencement speaker. Following the flag bearers are the faculty led by Dean Jack Knott. The graduates will follow, each degree led by our student leaders. On the right-hand side of the center aisle are the Master of Real Estate Development candidates led by John Drachman, President of the Graduate Real Estate Association. Followed by the Master of Planning candidates, led by David Feinberg, President of the Associated Students of Planning and Development. Followed by the Master of Public Administration candidates, led by Yoko Igawa, Vice President of the Graduate Policy and Administration Community. On the left-hand side of the center aisle are the doctoral graduates. The Doctor of Philosophy candidates are led by Ryan Alcantara, and the Doctor of Planning and Development Studies and Doctor of Policy, Planning and Development candidates are led by Elton Massey. The Master of International Public Policy and Management candidates are led by Mohammed Jallo, President of the ICAM Student Senate. Following are the Master of Health Administration candidates, led by Student Health Council co-presidents Alan Sue and Jillian Turab. Immediately following are the candidates for the Executive Master of Health Administration, led by Mary Beth Formby, and the candidates for the Executive Master of Leadership, led by Michael Grimaldi. Immediately following are the candidates for the Master of Public Policy, led by Christine Aboud, President of the Graduate Policy and Administration Community.
Graduation ceremony for the class of 2009. My name is Jack Knott. I'm the Irwin and Ione Piper Dean and Professor of the school. So first I want to heartily congratulate the graduating class of 2009. Congratulations. It is my great pleasure to be with you here today on this momentous occasion to help celebrate your tremendous achievement. I would like to thank all of you, parents, friends, relatives, and students for joining us here today, particularly those who have traveled a long way. I especially want to take a moment to thank the families who have provided financial and other support for our students. Your support is deeply appreciated. Could we now give a round of applause to all of our students, parents, grandparents, and families? I would also like to thank the faculty and staff who have worked hard and dedicated themselves to providing you with the best education. Please join me in thanking the faculty and the staff. To the graduates sitting here today, your personal academic milestone comes at a very significant juncture in history. Over this past year, the world has changed significantly. Social and economic challenges have become increasingly complex and pervasive. You, the graduates, along with all of us, face crucial issues of healthcare, energy, and security. And at the same time, we must also navigate through the unprecedented financial meltdown and extraordinary crisis that will impact generations to come. These developments brought about a major shift in the political landscape and thrust the federal government into its most prominent role since the Great Depression. Yet these undaunting challenges have also fueled a growing interest in public service, community values, and international affairs, and they offer us and the graduates tremendous new opportunities. Now, more than ever before, we need new visionary leaders. Successfully tackling multifaceted, often intractable problems will require exceptional levels of leadership and collaboration, whether you're in the public, business, or nonprofit sector. So given our country's enormous challenges and critical leadership needs, I believe that SPPD graduates are in the right place at the right time, and this is true for a number of reasons. Let's start with the context. Los Angeles is the capital of the Pacific Rim, a city with a diverse culture, worldwide immigration, a center for real estate and healthcare, and a city confronting many of the issues that megacities around the world confront. In short, it is the perfect context for studying policy planning and development. Second, USC as a university is an amazing place with great music, wonderful theater, the quality of students found only at the best institutions around the world. The opportunity for each of you to share and learn from each other is a unique education in itself. But I also would like to take a few moments to focus on a few features of the education that you have received at SPPD that makes it so special. As graduates of the school, these features set you apart from the competition. First, our school's strength lies in its ability to make a difference in the world, to be relevant. Our school's mission is to improve the quality of life for people and their communities here and abroad. Put this way, we are dedicated to making a positive impact on the world. And our students know, as evidenced by their work, that while change requires knowledge and analysis, it cannot be enacted from afar. Instead, it must be galvanized on the ground in communities. Our students interact and engage with policymakers, nonprofit managers, real estate developers, urban planners, healthcare leaders, and members of the community. Some of you have won awards for your research projects this year. Some of those include work on clean air incentives, President Obama's Web 2.0 strategies, risk analysis of the ports of Los Angeles, and environmental policy in Indonesia and Mexico. Some of you have advised city councils in Southern California and participated in internships, community projects, and externships. You have actively engaged in the community as well as excelled in the classroom. You've also studied with faculty who have made a major contribution to important issues facing the country. This is evidenced by our strong presence in the national media. Since this past January, just 4 months ago, 21 of our school's faculty members have been featured both in print and on broadcast media outlets, reaching nearly 80 million people through the New York Times, Washington Post, National Public Radio, NBC Nightly News, and so on. The impact of SPPD's alumni and faculty also reaches into the highest levels of the federal government. Alum Hilda Solis is Secretary of the U.S. Department of Labor. Alan Hoffman, Deputy Chief of Staff for Vice President Joe Biden, is a SPPD alum. And we have with us here SPPD Professor Raphael Bosick, who has just been nominated to serve as Assistant Secretary for Policy of U.S. Department of Health. We're going to miss Raphael, but we know the country needs him. I have every confidence that you too will be able to advance our school's mission and carry on its distinguished legacy of relevance and impact. Your work also exemplifies one of the most distinct characteristics of our school, a commitment to excellence. Our school has an esteemed reputation as a leader in scholarship and research. Again this year, for the 4th time in a row, we have been ranked by U.S. News and World Report as number 7 in the country out of 270 schools. And our reputation is long-lived. This year marks our 80th anniversary. We were founded in 1929 as the USC School of Citizenship and Public Administration when there were only 2 such schools in the entire country. For those of you who have attended our SPPD awards ceremony yesterday, there can be no doubt about the excellence of the work produced by our students. A third characteristic is innovation for the future. Our school is truly emerged as a school for the 21st century. SPPD distinguishes itself from its academic peers by embracing a special approach that builds bridges across boundaries to provide innovative solutions to society's problems. As graduates, you've learned to build bridges across disciplines. You've learned to build bridges across sectors by finding solutions in collaboration across the public, business, and nonprofit sectors. And you've learned to connect theory and high academic quality to the community of practice. Finally, our school is global. We live in an interconnected world where the professions are becoming global, whether it's real estate, urban planning, or public management. As our school's graduates, you understand the impact the world has on local communities, and you've learned comparative approaches to problem solving and how to apply practices abroad to improve communities at home. Each and every one of you has distinguished yourself already as an SPPD graduate. Now, your moment has arrived. It is your turn to make an impact on the world, to galvanize your vision of the future. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." And I know that the future belongs to you because I know that each of you believes in the beauty of your dreams. Graduates, you have benefited in myriad ways from the wisdom and generosity of our faculty and from a worldwide network of loyal supporters, including our alumni. We hope that you will maintain strong ties to USC and SPPD as you move through life as alumni and members of the Trojan family. There will be many opportunities for you to give back to the school and to USC. We hope you in the future will volunteer and that you'll become career mentors, that you'll offer internships and externships for future students, and that you even might hire some of our future students. In addition, we hope that you might join our Athenian Society and support the school financially, or that you will attend our Guardian Awards dinner, and someday some of you may be honored at that awards dinner. So we look forward to a continuing relationship with you. As new students join our program, they will look to you, the recent alumni, for their inspiration and support. The Trojan family is formed through a common background. It grows through the commitment of its members one to another. Today, you achieve that special status within the Trojan family. You become USC alumni. So congratulations once again. It is now my great pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Henry Cisneros. Through his lifelong commitment to urban strategy and affordable housing, Mr. Cisneros has exemplified the type of community building values and progressive leadership that SPPD instills in its students. He has served as a leader at all levels of government, from local to federal, in both the public and private sectors, and in the Latino community, and in the community as a whole. After 3 terms as city council member, Mr. Cisneros became the first Hispanic American mayor of a major U.S. city, San Antonio, Texas, in 1981. He helped rebuild the city's economic base and spurred the creation of jobs through infrastructure and downtown improvements. After completing his fourth term, Mr. Cisneros brought his community building vision to the private sector by forming Cisneros Asset Management Company, a money manager for tax-exempt organizations. And in 1992, President Clinton appointed Mr. Cisneros Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And in this role, Secretary Cisneros initiated the revitalization of public housing and helped people achieve their dream of home ownership. He continues to be a leader in the field of affordable housing in his capacity as the executive chairman of the City View Companies, which works with leading home builders to create housing prices that are within reach of the average family. He also remains active in formulating an urban strategy for San Antonio, where he is chairman of Biomed SA, an effort to accelerate the city's healthcare and biosciences center. In addition, Mr. Cisneros currently sits on the board of directors of the Spanish language broadcaster Univision Communications. He is a member of the advisory board of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Broad Foundation, and is the author of several award-winning books. As a member of the Board of Counselors for SPPD, Mr. Cisneros is also a dedicated supporter of our school and its mission. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Honorable Henry Cisneros.
Thank you. Jack, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you for your words of introduction. Thank you for your leadership. And let me just say to the graduates, this school, which is a great school of public policy, is going to be greater because Jack Knott is on the job. He's a great dean and has great future for this school. Thank you for your leadership. The faculty and staff and parents and family and friends and supporters, and most importantly today, those of you who are the graduates of this class of 2009. If I may just say one word of personal privilege and congratulate Raphael Bostic. I was Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He's going to be Assistant Secretary in a function called Policy Development and Research, which is the fact-gathering policy development piece of the department when it takes on a higher set of responsibilities than ever, because the economic crisis that we're in is a lot of things, but it started as a housing crisis. A Trojan academic is going to be at the center of the recovery. Raphael, thank you and congratulations. This is a special day in many ways. It's a special day for the staff and the faculty of SPPD because it is for a day like this that they dedicate their professional lives. They have dedicated themselves to the art of teaching. One of the hardest things in human endeavor is to take complicated knowledge in one mind and convey it to another group of people. It takes people who are dedicated to do that for a lifetime. It is a commitment. I once heard a story of a teacher who was a little frustrated and downhearted and said, "Who cares? Nobody cares what I do." And his friend said, "Wait a minute. You know what you do, your students know what you do, and God knows what you do, and that's not a bad audience." It is that kind of dedication to doing the right thing that characterizes faculty and staff, and I think we ought to say thank you on a day like today to the faculty who's conveyed the important knowledge to you on this day, to the faculty and the staff. Also a special day for parents and supporters and family members and that 80% of the room back here of people who have made it possible in one way or another for you to be here. Thank you and congratulations to family and friends and supporters. But obviously the most important dimension of today is to stop and congratulate you on what you've accomplished. Not only have you mastered a body of knowledge, material, content, facts, methodologies, techniques that you are going to employ in your work going forward, but equally importantly, you have proved you can take on a goal and finish it. Over the years, I've observed that the rewards in our society go to people who stay the course. more like the North Star that is there every night, dependably, reliably, in the same place, than the shooting star that shoots across the sky and is gone, and in a moment we weren't even sure that it was there. Those disciplines that have to do with staying the course. I've noted that the rewards really go to those not who started with the most or who are the wittiest, the brightest, the prettiest, but those who are willing to work the hardest. And you have proven among your peers in our society that you're willing to make the sacrifice and work hard. Congratulations on what you have achieved. Special day for you. It is also a special day for our society in this sense. America is a nation of many faiths, but our secular faith, our layman's faith, our public faith, if you study the history study American history, is largely embedded, entrusted to education. We believe that if we invest in people, entrust our hopes, build great institutions like this, pursue research dollars, invest in faculty, we do it for a reason, because we believe the future can be better if we convey knowledge and if people are able to put that knowledge to work. You know, it was the darkest moment in American history, and that darkest moment was not the recent economic turmoil, as frustrating it has been. It was not 9/11, although we lost more people that day than any single day in American history. It was not the early months of World War II after Pearl Harbor, where we lost a number of battles. It was not even the Great Depression, when 30% of the nation was out of work. Darkest moment in American history was the depths of the Civil War, when the country was at war with itself. Thousands of people were dying, brother against brother, region against region. In the darkest moment of that war, in 1862, the Congress of the United States met and passed a law called the Morrill Act. And what it did was it set up a system to finance higher education. It set up the system of higher education that we know in the United States today. Imagine, darkest moment, not even sure the nation would survive, and yet the Congress was saying, when this is over, we're going to have teachers who can make literate the masses. We're going to have engineers who can open up the West and build dams and roads. And we're going to have agriculturalists who can create a farming and ranching system to feed the people. Darkest moment in American history, and the country was making a public commitment to education. It speaks a lot about the American faith in education. That value in education, the inculcation of knowledge and values that you can then utilize to advance the country and its well-being, is more important now than ever. Much has been made of the election of President Obama, and there's some experts on this faculty, including Shirley Babbage, who have really analyzed it, understand it, spoken about it. My sense is that there was a lot going on here. Not only was it the election of an extraordinary individual, it was that, a very skilled human being, but my contention is it reflects a kind of a new America. There are some big changes underway in our country. If you can imagine kind of the metaphor of tectonic plates, shifting of the earth, and I think there are at least 4 things that were at work here that made this election a harbinger of change, a moment of massive change. One of them is generational. This was a passing of the baton from the baby boomer generation and the generations before. Bill Clinton was a baby boomer and George Bush was a baby boomer. And this is a passing of the torch to a newer group. You are part of that newer group. What it suggests is that the country is entrusting to a new group of people responsibility for the most profound decisions that affect the nation's future, like how we're going to compete in a time when other nations and regions, China and India, are rising in significance. Are we going to be able to hold on to our economic strength, our diplomatic strength, our way of life? The torch is passed generationally. It was also a shift in understanding of multiculturalism in our country. The president comes from a different stream of ethnic heritage than traditional American political leaderships. And it is an indication of how rapidly the country is changing as the landscape changes, as intermarriage changes, as new ethnic groups come to significance, as political power shifts and is shared. And it's a world that you go into. Many of you represent that multicultural reality, and every one of you will have to understand it, respect it, relate to it, listen carefully, and work with people different than yourselves. A third shift is a kind of economic realignment. We read about it in the papers every day. When this recession ends, the banking system's not going to be the same. The investment system's not going to be the same. The global system's not going to be the same. The industrial structure's not going to be the same. It's going to require very thoughtful management of the way we create prosperity and quality of life in our society. And much of that will fall to public leaders and private leaders like those produced at this school. Finally, among these tectonic shifts is the reality of fundamental new technologies. Many of us in my generation simply haven't grown up with the access to methods of communication that you have, mastered computers in the way that you have, mastered them in a way that they were employed, frankly, in this campaign to reach people in new ways. But they go far beyond campaigning. It has to do with the way we transport ourselves, the way we will create new medical realities that create longevity and quality of life. Technology will be employed in new ways. You understand that better than the people who've come before. So every one of these things, the generational dimension, the multicultural dimension, the economic dimension, the technological match to pop culture is new. A lot of us don't understand it. It's different. It's new. And it's going to fall to your generation to understand this. It's particularly important for graduates emerging from one of the best schools of public leadership in the country. And I use those words advisedly, public leadership, because though some of you are studying urban planning and public administration, others of you are studying private sector real estate, but you're all going to be involved in public leadership. It is the definition of the things that you work with, whether it's the land or development or economics or local government or national government or nonprofits or the other things you will do, that you will be involved in public leadership. More and more we're seeing the application of tools that are not traditional. They're not in one silo. You will be partly public and partly using private tools to move the country forward. Some of you in your careers will go from private sector responsibilities to public sector responsibilities and back, just like Raphael Bostic is now going to government after having been in academic life. You will find the new technologies helpful in the way that you communicate with people in public responsibilities. People know more today. They have more access to web-based information. It's a more accountable, transparent world in which you will work. It's tough, but it's essential that you understand it. And yet, through all of this process, you will have to maintain some measure of societal ideals, the things we value that are important in the public sphere, like due process of law, like the egalitarian ideals. I would encourage you to resist the temptation to cynicism, even when you tire, even when you're frustrated. Remember, you're in public roles and public leadership, and people matter. So develop the skills to humbly listen to people, really put yourself in other people's place and try to understand what they're saying, and then have your public decisions and actions reflect some of that. You must work for the right reasons. The right reasons are not to get a promotion or not glory, not to make the newspaper, but to advance important public agendas. I remember in the years that I was mayor, while the temptation is to try to get credit for every action because it matters in an electoral sense, many a Saturday afternoon was spent quietly ensconced with somebody trying to prevent a problem which would have been disastrous if it would have occurred. You couldn't talk about it. You couldn't brag about it. You just had to know in the knowledge, bask in the knowledge that you prevented something important, difficult from happening. You have to do these things because they need to be done, because it's the right thing to do. And so you are part of the march of progress for our society. John Adams, the second President of the United States, a great man, had a very rich correspondence with his wife Abigail. Some of you know the history of John Adams and that relationship. And he wrote once about his goals. Well, actually, he wrote about his hopes for his children, but related it to his hopes for the country. And this is what he wrote. And to me, it speaks of this kind of march of progress that we are all committed to. This is what he said. He said, "I must study politics and war, that my children may have liberty to study mathematics and philosophy. My children ought to study mathematics and philosophy, geography and natural history, architecture, navigation, commerce, and agriculture, in order to give their children the right to study painting and poetry and music and architecture, statuary, tapestry, and porcelain." Now, imagine that. What he's saying is, my generation studies politics and war, the formation of the country, its defense and creation, so that the next generation has the liberty to study mathematics and architecture and navigation and commerce, the building of the country, so that the next generation can study some of those uplifting human themes like poetry and music and architecture. It's not a perfect simile for human progress, but it's a rough goal for how we ought to be trying to advance as a society. I've created my own version of John Adams for the last 50 years or so, and let me close my remarks with this. My father's generation, my dad's generation, who Tom Brokaw's called the greatest generation, lived in the 1940s and 50s, 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. My father's generation won a war against Hitler and fascism, tamed an economic depression, led a resurgent national growth in the post-war years, explored the new frontiers of space, and held firm throughout the Cold War and conquered diseases like polio, right? So that my generation, and that includes many of the faculty up here, could advance civil rights, broaden opportunities for women, temper the pain of economic cycles, raise environmental awareness, and use technology to connect people and nations, so that your generation can apply genetic discoveries to end diseases like cancer, can create communities for people of every strata of our society, can sustain our global environment, can create new art forms and designs to exalt the human spirit and inspire peace and respect and spiritual understanding in our world. Are these things possible? Is this march of progress real? Can it be? We believe so in a school of public policy. That's what this is all about, imbuing you with the skills and the values to be public leaders. Senator Robert Kennedy said, and this is my final point, Senator Robert Kennedy said this, and he's, to me, one of the great optimistic voices, self-determination for our country. This quotation was given to me by his wife Ethel, and I have it framed on my desk and have for years. It's a philosophy of life for me, and I think it speaks to what we believe as Americans, but certainly in a school of public policy. He said, "It is the shaping impulse of America, that it is not fate, nor is it chance, nor is it the irreversible tides of history that determine our destiny as individuals or as a nation. Rather, it is reason, and it is principle, and it is the work of our own hands." Think of it. Reason, what you learned here. Principle, your own convictions, affirmed by values that you cemented here. And finally, the work of our own hands. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the class of 2009, it is in your hands. Best wishes and Godspeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Henry. Thank you very much. I am now pleased to present two of our student speakers, one representing the doctoral students and one representing the master's students. We begin with the doctoral speaker. Our first speaker is Dr. Melissa Gayke. She's receiving her Doctor of Philosophy and Public Administration today. Her research interests include youth civic engagement, methods of civic education, neighborhood government, nonprofit effectiveness, and public ethics. Her dissertation is titled Exploring Student Motivations Toward Civic Engagement, and it was chaired by Professor Terry Cooper. Her immediate plans after graduation are to remain with USC and to continue to serve as the director of the USC Volunteer Center, which supports and facilitates students' civic engagement and volunteerism in Greater Los Angeles. Melissa Gayke.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Knott, for that wonderful welcome. I'm thrilled and honored to have been asked to share some thoughts with you today about the student experience for those of us wearing the red robes, and hopefully it resonates with many of my colleagues here. When Professor Myers invited me to make these remarks, he said, well, just share sort of what it means for you to have gone through this. So I thought of three things. The first is, well, I finally have to take those library books back. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've really found a lot of comfort and companionship with all of those great works, but I'm sure someone here at USC would love to have Almond and Verba's civic culture back so somebody else can learn from their words. But really, that academic pursuit and that discovery has really characterized my time here, and I've really come to appreciate that discourse that we had in our classes and that time to really be challenged in a scholarly way with our faculty members. And I remember Professor Cooper saying, you're here to be a scholar with us as colleagues, and that was a really very profound time for me to think of myself in that way, and I look forward to continuing in that scholarly pursuit. Second, I have time, and we all have time. The dissertation process is an arduous one, and one that really requires care and dedication and discipline, and those habits and practices have served me well, and I know have served each of you well, and I hope we don't forget those moments and those times when it was really challenging for us, but we developed those practices and those touchstones that helped us get through to this day where we're able to celebrate. And finally, I am reminded of something that we studied in 695, Dr. Cooper, that what Robert Bella and his colleagues shared in democracy is paying attention. And I really think we've heard many sentiments about our obligation and responsibility to pay attention to the world, to think about what we care about, and to take action and not be a passive member of our society. And to create those opportunities with our colleagues, with our family members, with our neighbors, and to really be a member in an active and engaged way in our society and the decisions that are made. I know that I really appreciate the times that I have with my students in thinking about what it means to work in a soup kitchen, or what it means to be thinking about finance in housing, or whatever those ideas and questions that they're grappling with. And I look forward to continuing to work with students in that way. And I think we learned those skills of inquiry and in curiosity. And I've really appreciated that is something that we will take as a touchstone from our school. The idea that Los Angeles is a laboratory, and so no matter where we go, we will continue to look at our surroundings as a laboratory and to be curious about that. I want to close with just some words that I found from Albert Einstein that said, "The important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, and of the marvelous structure of reality. It's not enough to merely comprehend this mystery, but to do it every day." And I want to take that with me, and I hope that you take that with you, and that you enjoy and celebrate your accomplishments today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Melissa. Our second student speaker representing the master's students is L. Reed Mortimer III. L. Reed Mortimer III will receive his Master's of Real Estate Development today, having earned a 3.9 GPA in the program. Prior to joining the MRED program last summer, Reed worked for 2 years as an associate in the real estate group of the Atlanta-based law firm King & Spalding. While there, he performed due diligence, negotiated and drafted joint venture operating agreements, purchase and sale agreements, and other transaction documents. While he has been enrolled in the MRED program, he has also worked part-time with both Overton Moore Properties and the Martin Group. Reed holds a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Pennsylvania and a Juris Doctor from the University of Virginia. Reed.
Thank you for that introduction, Dean Knott. First off, on behalf of all the grads here, I would like to say thank you to all of the faculty and staff of SPPD for their many contributions to our education. And thank you also to all of our families and friends who are here with us today. Without you, none of this would have been possible. I would like to give a special thanks to my parents who made the trip from the East Coast to be here today, my incredible in-laws who have been consistently supportive, and to my beautiful bride who has been with me every step of the way. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for the honor of being the master speaker today. When asked if I would speak, I was ecstatic. Surely this would mean that I would get to meet the president of the university. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Pete Carroll fan. But in all seriousness, it is hard to believe that we have reached graduation already. After all the tests, group projects, and in my case, some Jackson Pollock-esque abstract expressionist art, also known as design, we have successfully made it to the finish line of our respective degree programs and the starting line for the next stage of our careers. During our time at USC, the world has undergone some major changes, including historic elections, the collapse of storied financial institutions, and a floating, seemingly unfixed starting line for the next step of our careers that few, if any of us, anticipated at the outset. However, I feel strongly that SPPD has equipped us well to handle this new and ever-changing world. During our time here at USC, we have developed a skill set which includes both practical business acumen and an understanding of the public process. And this intersection between the private and public realms seems certain to catapult in importance as we emerge from the economic hangover we currently find ourselves in. But even more important in these difficult times, SPPD has fostered our passion for our respective fields. My mother used to tell me that if you can do something you love for a living, you'll never work another day in your life. This sentiment is what led me to the MRED program at USC, because it instilled in me the importance of pursuing that which you love most and cultivating your own interests. One of the things that I think makes the SPPD programs so special is that they are teeming with students who are passionate about their field. Certainly that is the case of my classmates in the MRED program. Architects, accountants, brokers, construction managers, investment bankers, and attorneys, to name a few. We come from a wide range of professional backgrounds, but are brought together by a shared love of real estate and a desire to turn our visions into reality. Where other people see vacant land or blighted buildings, we see the opportunity to develop and shape the urban landscape of tomorrow. And now, even more than when we started our programs, I think it is important for us to focus our energies on sticking with our passions and on pursuing our visions for the future. Most importantly, we cannot allow the economic downturn to scare us away from taking the risks that we need to in order to take our ideas from conception to fruition. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again. Because there is not effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deed, who knows the great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, If he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. As we set sail on our journey from USC today, do not let the temporary economic storm steer you off course or become an excuse for not pursuing your goals. Continue taking risks on what you believe in. Continue to pursue your dreams and strive to make your vision for the future a reality. Continue to be amongst those that dare greatly. Thank you and congratulations. Fight on.
Thank you, Reed. Yesterday we had an awards ceremony in which we honored those students who had achieved academic excellence. At this time, I would like to ask all those award recipients to please stand so that we can recognize you. Please stand. Congratulations, award recipients. And now is also the time to recognize the hard work of each and every one of our graduates. I just wanted to say personally that there are two members of our faculty who have children graduating at this time. One is my son Alex, who is graduating from the MRED program. And the other is Andrew Pashone, son of Harry Pashone. So now we will call up each student individually and hand out, unfortunately we hand out diploma covers. The diplomas will be mailed in 4 to 6 weeks, so they're in the mail. We will begin with the Doctor of Philosophy candidates and Doctor of Policy Planning and Development candidates who will be hooded by their dissertation chairs. Then follow with handing diploma covers to the master's candidates. Professor and Senior Associate Dean Elizabeth Grady, who will come to the podium to take the lead in hooding the doctoral candidates, is doing this in substitution for Dr. Dowell Myers, whose mother passed away this week, and so he couldn't be with us. So, Dr. Grady.
I'm shorter than Dowell. Dean Knott, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the candidates of the Doctor of Philosophy, the Doctor of Planning and Development Studies, and the Doctor of Policy Planning and Development. Each candidate will be hooded by his or her dissertation chair. And we'll wait until they come around, I guess. And each dissertation chair should come up when your name is called.
Melissa Gakey. Chair, Terry Cooper. Dissertation title, Exploring Student Motivations Towards Civic Engagement, an Application of Expectancy Value. Ryan Alcantara. Chair, Juliet Musso. A learning model of policy implementation, implementing technology in response. Seema Dogan. Chair, Harry Richardson. Dissertation title, Transformation of Housing in Slum Upgrading Areas, Lessons from Turkey. Hussam Hussein Samir Salama. Chair, Tridib Banerjee. Dissertation title, Place, Production, and Globalizing Middle Eastern Cities, a Study of Cairo and Dubai. Jabin Hu. Chair, Peter Robertson. Dissertation title, Assessing the Governance of the Independent Regulatory Agencies in China. Amna Imam. Chair, Tridib Banerjee. Dissertation title, Influence of Nonprofit Sector on Environmental Quality. Lingqian Hu. Chair, Genevieve Giuliano. Dissertation title, Urban Spatial Transformation and Job Accessibility, Spatial Mismatch Revisited. Diane Yoder. Chair, Yan Tang. Dissertation title, Cities on the Environmental Justice Frontline, The Intractability of Hazards. Sarajit Chakravarti. Chair, Tridib Banerjee. Dissertation title, Spaces of Market Culturalism, A Study of Chungking Mansions, Hong Kong. Christian Pliskov. Chair, Peter Robertson. You'll be hooded today by Terry Cooper. Dissertation title, New Public Management in Chile. Elton Fred Massey II. Chair, Harry Richardson. Dissertation title, Social Entrepreneurship and Urban Tourism as Economic Development, Best Practices from Long Beach. Jordan Blair. Chair, Catherine Burke. Dissertation title, Decision 2008, The Evolution of Campaign Management. Imani Brown. Dissertation title, Adaptive Reuse, Economic Development in Downtown Los Angeles, A Stakeholder's Guide. Chair is Harry Richardson. Anupama Man. Chair, Tridib Banerjee. Dissertation title, A Mega Project Matrix, Ideology, Discourse, and Regulation in the Delhi Metro Rail. Greg John Haskin. Chair, Dan Masmanian. Dissertation title, Bottle to Bottle, A Guide to Achieving a Closed-Loop System for California's PET Beverage Containers. Let's get a huge round of applause for the doctoral graduates.
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Master of International Public Policy and Management.
Mohammed Anjay Jallo. Sorangel Paulo Hernandez. Sojin Wang. Yuichiro Okamura. David Shao. Andy Ong. Curtis Fang. Miwa Kawamura. Shen Yi Chen. Dolores Pan. Zhang Xiao Nua. Mei Chun Cho. Jin Wen Ma. Hannah Sai. Edward Lin. Glenn Paul Becerra. Sen Mi Shi. Koichi Shibuya. Chao Chuen Tao. Linda Shen. Wen Long. Taro Araki. Mong Kai Hung. Chen Xiao Shin. Anna Cecilia Joyce. Surada Chuntasut. Panini Bunlert. Pradit Rupan. And Afton Tamika Porter. Let's give a big round of applause to the IPAM graduates.
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Masters in Health Administration.
Jillian Leigh Tarab. Melissa Lee. Heather Angel. Michelle Bitwarda. Janae Miller. Mark Philip Keckling. Maria Velarde. Elizabeth Matthew. Rufi Faroki. Alan David Shu. Douglas Patrick Archer. Chris Zaldivar. Stephen Chung. Brent Clifford Pottinger. Joanne Lee. Jean Hu. Helen Tran. Stefano Maro. Shalon Prasad. Risa Marie Ronaldo. Danielle Kovlosky. Crystal Marie Redman. Jennifer Renee Jordan. Kimberly Latanya Payton. Let's have a big round of applause for all the MHA graduates.
Dean Knott, I now present to you candidates for the Executive Masters in Health Administration.
Mary Beth Formby. Yanis Anguras. Gloria Reyes. Jill Jacobs. Joel Glusman. R. Ryan Rogers. William Henry Marks. Beverly Davis Miller. Curtis James Lancaster. Voyatek Novak. Kelly Robinson Morgan. Visant Anatre Sinatra. Rosemary Salas Castello. Suzanne Marie Adolfson. Kelly Banks Randall. Gilberto Podesta. Sunita Saxena. Marina Lazara Jimenez. Fume Stark. Anna Shaw. Hasmi Ketsinian. Jackie Dezon Ng. Nancy Yee. Brandy Rosero. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the EMHA graduates.
Dean Knott, I'd like to present to you the candidates from our Executive Masters of Leadership program.
Michael Jerome Grimaldi. Oscar Romeo Viteo. Susan Gilpin. Emily Bame. Roberto Blaine. Amanda Lynn Sattler. Christine Jaron Carmaldian. Miko Sperber. Tina Mallinson Pakfar. Siobhan Jones. Olivia Fernandez. Elizabeth Libby Williams. Randall Morris Goddard. Rafi Armin Bajadarian. Albert Gonzalez. Mark Lucio. Edward Allen Pape, Jr. Anthony Andrew Otero. Jeffrey Wigington. Irma Becerra. Victor Davalos. Let's have a big round of applause for all the EML graduates.
Dean Knott, I am proud to present to you the candidates for the Master of Public Policy.
Christine Aboud. Sarah Claire Brennan. Jane Lee. Scott Lewis Sternberg. Jacqueline Nicole Clemente. Alexandra Brittany Wood. Jason Donald Wise. Nathaniel Ajay. Jia Shu. Jaya Shu. Christopher Richard Granger. Marissa Ann Alcaraz. Laura Michelle Weeder. Nancy Asheen. DeAndre Raymond McCall. Brandy Nicole Chappelle. Russia Chavez. Sadiki Allende Etienne. Jonathan Sang. Anish Banerjee. Michael John Nailett. Marcel Hovsepian. Zachary Abrams. Isidro Cerda. Brian Michael Randall. Tracy Ann Katz. David Joaquin Estrada. Jennifer Orlick. Michael Leschke. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the MPP graduates.
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Master of Public Administration.
Yoko Igawa. Jorge Mateo Madrid. Luz Erendira Reyes. Robert Armando Lopez. Brett Taylor Channing. Jason Everett. Craig Valenzuela. Andrew Brian Probasco. Sarah Louise Osterly. Marina Lee. Stephen Park. Yuhan Lan. Shushe Lee. Chol Soo Kim. Tofume Ide. Leah Jean Manuzan. Jajun Lu. Jongnan Shah. Halby Elizabeth Daughtry Wood. Ryan Patrick Higgins. Josie Olivia Noah. Rebecca Melville. Maria Fernanda Andrade. Elizabeth Owen. Arlen Yaoska Valdiva. Matthew Princetta. Megan Nicole Burke. Chloe Robinson. Kelvin J. Driscoll. Marisol Naranjo. Nira Shirsho Kavart. Dennis Joseph Sheehan. Jeremy Daniel Olson Shelton. Melody Yazdanvar. Veronica Reyes. Cecile Braun Jones. Aaliyah Fuller Levin. Jonathan William Lane Maginot. Anna Schwartz. David Russell Harris. Andrew Pachone. Richard Thomas Whipple. Rupa Balasubramanian. Nick Arivalo. Angelica Vanessa Gonzalez. Alani Christina Cridge. What is that? Jeffrey Stewart Fizarins. Steve Perez. Edward Marino. Priscilla Monique Hernandez. Savannah Malikian. Jason Robertson. Paul Simon Rodriguez. Jeffrey Stephen Lopez. Adam Gardner. Lauren K. Cochran. Andrew Charles Ehrlichman. Lisa Hahn. Kristen Nicole Elderson. Chelsea Nicole Murdoch. Anthony Lewis Hooper. Kaylin Palmer Briggs. Maria Guadalupe Ronchel. Mildred Martinez Lopez. Priscilla Hernandez. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the MPA graduates.
Dean Knott, first I'd like to welcome Dr. Frances Jackson, who came in today, one of our faculty colleagues, is here to celebrate the graduation of her daughter, Elena. Second, I proudly present the 2009 candidates for the Master of Planning.
Meinchen Soon. Sukyung Kwan. Jorge Mateo Madrid. Luz Erendira Reyes. Robert Armando Lopez. Isidro Cerda. Christopher Anthony Lafarge. Charles Joseph Pulford, Jr. Alex Aftendillians. Michael Lawrence Henderson. Mark Vandellen. Zaurui Nexalian. Justin Sevard Martin. Haina Gupta. Trisha Devon Robbins. Sandra Florian Segura. Josie Olivia Noah. Stephanie Marie Interano. Simon San Vong. Robert Thomas Baird. Kathleen Shishon Tung. Anne Christine Fritzler. Ulana Camille Jackson. Fiona McCargo. David Hale Feinberg. Eli Mitchell Mall. Kathleen Ann Ripley. Ryan Patrick Mills. Jeffrey Michael Jacob Berger. Katie Lynn Heasley. Eric Metz. Blake Andrew Hopkins. Kirby Alexandra Brady. Evan J. Corey. Shelby Shewakaleka Louis Ho. Ashley Marie Schweikart. Chinyi Wong. Glenn Cam. Zenas Young Tam. Ana Elizabeth de Santiago Ayan. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the MPL graduates.
Dean Knott, I now present to you the long-suffering candidates for the Master Real Estate Development. And I also want to present to you USC trustee Bruce Carrots, the father of an MRED, who's on the stage here, and also Jack Knott, the father of another MRED, who's also on the stage here.
Jonathan Giebler. David Adam Agai. John Justin Tilley. Ante Perkoff. John Heilman. Eric Lawrence Gutshaw. Jason Martin. Roy Morde Ariel. Richard Chu. Leo Cow. Scott Russell Spiel. Thomas Mark Brennan. Mark Arthur Zeisel. Thomas Vogt. Edgar Salmeron. Mark Wyzakowski. Matthew Neal Curtin. David On. Spencer Charles Bogner. Brandon Jean Emmerich. Gregory Scott Stahl. Weewen Jennifer Chen. Crystal Lee. Chris Jurdy. Theodore Samuel Carrots. Matthew Bjorner. Paul Nicholas Carbone. Spencer Jerome Coates. Samir Patel. Daniel Omid Farasat. Greg Beck. Amir Farid Kasem. Charles William Braff. Aaron Brandon Abbott. Alexander Joseph Riemann. Stephanie Kimiko Uchima. Eric Thomas Jordan. Kenneth Frederick Simpson. Randy Allen Chapman. Aaron Osborne. Tiffany Yazi. Yao Tang. Louis Reed Mortimer III. John Philip Drackman. Branson Brinton. Aaron Murray. Alexander Fletcher Knott. Stephen Patrick Rawls. Nicholas Errol Thompson. Tanya Konishi. Lund Johnson Smith. Adam Joseph Danishkar. Joseph Michael Gill. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the MRED graduates.
I would now like to invite Kirk Kartosian to the podium. He is the incoming president of the SPPD Alumni Board. Kirk.
Thank you, Dean Knott. Let me just check something here real quick. I know we're in between, I'm between you and a celebration, so I hope you'll indulge me for a few minutes, but I want to just make sure the email came through. Yeah, it did. The Alumni Association has officially received all of their records from the school, so you're ours now. You want to know when that Trojan family is going to kick in? It's about right now. A few things that were mentioned here today: knowledge, people, technology, and communication. Just a few of those subjects. It goes with good reason. There's a well-known quote: "It's not what you know, it's who you know." There couldn't be a more incomplete cliche in spoken English. In today's Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn era, MySpace and Friendster, we bid farewell to. I think that was very 2003. Social networks are finding new conventions through new mediums. By the way, in a few minutes, you can go in officially to linkedin.com/groups, !GID equals 2956 for the SPPD Alumni Association. Stay connected. I know some of you are on your iPhones and Blackberries right now. Anyway, if anyone can vouch for the spirit and power of relationship building, it's me. Former high school teacher, council member, mayor, now practicing in real estate. I know how important it is to know the right people. I have benefited from a keen sense of human interaction with voters, business owners, fellow politicians, and even former students. In fact, one of my former students is graduating with you all here today. She was a student of mine when I was a high school teacher. To avoid publicly embarrassing her right now, I won't mention Luz Reyes' name. Few others with you, I've come to know it through different mediums and not necessarily through USC over the years. Eric Gutschall, Paul Carboni, Samir El-Kassim, Marcel Hovsepian, John Heilman, Christine Jerian, Robert Lopez. The list goes on and on. The point is we know a lot of people, and what are we doing with that knowledge of people? We have it through a number of avenues. Knowing the right people is a good thing, but it's not the only thing. Other than people wanting to use a platform of knowing people, you need to have the knowledge too. And luckily and hopefully at USC you feel that you gain that knowledge. So knowing the right people and being part of the Trojan family is one part of it. Having the knowledge to connect it and use that platform as you go out into the world is quite another. Through each of you and through your vast social continuum, you'll have the opportunity to interface with some powerful individuals, and some of you already are. But make sure you have more than just a name to drop when you get there. And soon enough, you'll be who it is you need to know. You'll be the right people, and you'll be the ones who will allow others to benefit through your interaction. A lot of people say that luck gets people to the top. Maybe it does. Maybe luck does this for us. But maybe luck is more than we think. True luck can't find us everywhere, and true luck doesn't occur with everyone. True luck is when timing meets preparation. That timing is when you are interfaced with the right people, the right person. That preparation you receive from SPPD, and you'll continue to build upon out there. Remember, preparation continues beyond the classroom, and there are always new levels of preparation to attain greater heights. The incomplete saying, "It's not what you know, it's who you know," should go. It's not what you know or who you know, it's both. And since you have begun to acquire both here, the what you knows, the who you knows here, please stay connected to your school, stay connected to SPPD, and find us through the vast network out there. Congratulations and fight on.
Thank you, Kurt. Will everyone now please stand? Graduates, you may move your tassels to the right side. To the faculty and staff, proud parents, relatives, and friends, I proudly present to you the School of Policy, Planning, and Development, class of 2009. Congratulations and good luck. Please remain in your place for the recessional, and then please join us for a reception in Ralph and Goldie Lewis Hall. Thank you very much.